With a little over a month left in the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, tens of thousands of Americans in the Southeast are still recovering from Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton. Milton broke records for its rapid intensification, while Helene illustrated that tropical impacts can be felt far from the center of the forecast cone. Meteorologist Simone Thomas spoke with Arkansas experts about tropical preparedness as Gulf systems become stronger, more intense, and bring impacts further inland.
The Atlantic hurricane season runs for about half the year, far longer than most severe seasons. Most years, the season starts out slow, but the end of summer produces some of the most impactful systems. While Arkansas isn't a coastal state, the aftermath of storms like Helene is a reminder that we still need our own preparedness plan from June to November, just like we do from March to May.
We've been recording tropical cyclones since the 1850s. Arkansas specifically experiences about 4 to 5 a decade.
Tabitha Clark is the senior service hydrologist for the National Weather Service in North Little Rock. She went to Atlanta to assist with Hurricane Helene. She says that while 4 to 5 a decade might not seem like much, the impacts can be intense. During tropical systems, we most often see damaging winds, spin-up tornadoes, and freshwater flooding, which happens to be the deadliest impact of tropical cyclones.
I do feel like the flooding message gets buried sometimes because when people think of hurricanes, they immediately focus on wind speed or the category or storm surge. However, it is a large, massive storm system, and when it moves inland and slows down, you just get rounds and rounds of rainfall.
In the case of Hurricane Helene, communities in North Carolina had already seen 10 to 15 inches of rain in the days leading up to the storm. When you combine that with the additional rounds of rain that fell as it moved inland, it created the perfect storm for unprecedented flooding. We've had a few local examples of excessive rainfall associated with tropical systems.
Some of the more recent examples where we've had 10 plus inches of rain, one that I can remember in my career is in 2008. We had Gustav, and then right after that we had Ike 2 weeks later.
Flash flooding is an impact that can come with very little notice. This is why leaders with the Arkansas Division of Emergency Management emphasize the importance of always staying weather aware so you are prepared when the conditions start to deteriorate.
And when it comes to weather events, we start working very early on with the National Weather Service. So they will reach out to us as soon as they identify a storm system that will have an impact in our state. And usually we get a couple of days notice before the system actually arrives.
AJ Gary, director of the Arkansas Division of Emergency Management, says you may already have a lot of the needed resources in your severe weather kit.
Try to keep enough supplies in your home to last you a few days. So if something happens, if you live in a rural area, you're cut off from being able to travel down the road, you can at least get by for a little while. Making sure that you have the medications that you need if you're on medications, if you're on any other type of life support system, oxygen, anything like that, you're prepared for a couple of days.
Flood insurance may also be a useful tool.
You don't just have to be in a flood area, but insurance could benefit you in some other area. If they're not in a flood plain, then the flood insurance may not be very costly at all.
And lastly, Gary says that having a good line of communication set with your family, friends, and other community members is another important part.
It's neighbors helping neighbors, and Arkansas is great about that.
After all, we're always better together. In Little Rock, Simone Thomas, THV 11 News.